So let me know if I didn't play the last character twice already, because we're just gonna move over to the right. But there are things to say. It's mostly about the developer of World of War, and then custom events that I'm adding in. We have character exclusive events, so Cthulhu medical history. But the first thing I do want to say is if I already played, well, I should just save it for after the timestamp. We're still setting things up, so hey, medical history, no random item stats? Am I going crazy? Well, I'm just going to say no random item stats. I might... Listen, it's not going to be that much big of... Well, it's going to be a big difference sometimes, but as we get... let me get that cough before the timestamp. As we get into Cthulhu medical history, character, exclusive, custom character. Yeah, 3 things. First thing immediately, if I haven't played the last custom character twice, let me know, and especially if you want to see them again. Otherwise, we're going to move on, because we got to talk about the developer of World of War, and the, well, I should talk about this third thing that I've listed right here. Second encounter, strength, Takshisan, dexterity, knowledge, light. I should talk about it first, is that I did add 3 events. I doubled the amount of them, and one of them is supposed to happen on Kathak, but I made it happen in the apartments instead, because otherwise, because I hit quick play for this series, or my videos in general, then there's a low chance we get to see that event, and I want to see the event, and then I added copies of it just so we get a higher proc rate. That does mean I can run into it more than once in succession, but that's the price we pay, and it's not so bad because we're rolling out of all the events that we have. We have, like, I think 30, 40 plus events as of this moment, so as I pop my knuckles. And then pretty much, yeah, the rest of this video is going to be game dev talk, World of War, and then, you know, personal experience, but at the same time, kind of logical experiences or expectations from players that I think is somewhat reasonable. But we'll see. Recluse footage, household... Ringu and Colts. I could humor this all. The crowbar not being random item stat actually helps or hurts me a lot more than it helps me most of the time because it's too slow. Average weapons are made better on random item stats is what I'm trying to say. I could take Recluse now, but oh, my coughing. Let's see here. I am also scheduled to go to an appointment because my body does not feel good. But it doesn't seem to be too serious, but it might be serious. We'll see. You'll see within the next month, which is why I am kind of in a rush to get things done. But we'll prepare. But yeah, as for World of War stuff, again, I've talked about it before, but I feel like it's, you know, it needs a refreshing, it needs an update, whether to my opinion, which may or may not be informed, to my own, like, basically, if you hear something from me and you're like, oh, Jordan thinks this way, I'm not the most correct person, I am not the most, I like to try to be logical over emotional, but my logic may fail at times. I get things wrong, basically, here and there. Especially as it pertains to gameplay. But as it pertains to game dev and players' expectations versus basically anything that has to do with development, design, so on and so forth. Because I've been on both sides before, as we buy a coffee here. I was actually going to get another weapon, so that's not a bad thing. I should also take care of some gameplay stuff before I move on with this. So high threat level forest, max threat level hospital. We'll go actually in the forest, because we're about to enter this forest a lot. And let's actually grab a weapon really quickly. Funny enough, the army knife would still work out pretty well. Kyoko would also work out well, but let's guarantee the army knife before we grab Kyoko. We have Recluse, that's why I don't mind doing this as much. And let's actually visit the mansion twice. But yeah, let's keep talking about dev stuff. So, it was Princess Maker 2. It was Princess Maker 2, let's just say it outright. We'll take stamina damage here. And for Princess Maker 2, you know, it's, at least from a player's perspective, it is easier to see the concept of there are some parts of development that can go well and some parts that not go well. And these are just conceptual examples. I'm not tying them into anything. But for example, maybe the marketing side of a game is not doing so well. So even though a game is actually very, very good, it was not marketed well and therefore did not sell well. On the other side of things, maybe the gameplay wasn't that good, but, and we know examples of this, but as a general kind of guidance, I guess, maybe the gameplay of a game was not designed well, or developed well, or the music was not good, but it was marketed really well. So what happens is, the game sells, and then you trust in that development team, or people involved in development, goes down. Somewhat unjustly, obviously there are always good people in a development team here and there, most, like 90% of the time. I don't think 9 out of 10 people at minimum go into a project hoping that their game does not do well in their planned release, whatever it may be. But as we can apply to other things. If you're working on something as a team and making something as a whole, you are going to be judged as a whole. Now, that doesn't... Again, you need to separate whether you're someone who, I guess, puts undue hate or dislike. I guess hate is kind of strong, but undue dislike on an individual. You do have to separate, did they do well as a team, or did they not do as well as an individual? Nice 87% miss, by the way, game. Try to sneak that past me, but so what I mean by that, so say development team X works on a game, and the game that they make is very, very good. But then you fall, and so you think, oh, the individuals here must be good. But then for some reason or another, and we know examples of this, I'm sure someone can think of an example. I'm thinking conceptually. The team splits up and becomes development team B and development team C. Well, development team B makes an okay game. Development team C, you might think makes a better game, but they actually make a complete flop. And so therefore, maybe together as a team, as development team A, they can make an outstanding game, but as development team B and C separated, they don't do as well. It might be because of certain individuals here and there, but for the most part, you do have to separate individual and team. And so how this relates to World of Horror, as I take Recluse now, is that you have to look at how the game's performing. If you are a developer, you have to think about how the players will view what is happening. And so when players expect something, players, all they see, no matter how much hardship you may have there, you'll get sympathy, yes, and it may be for a good reason, but most players, and it is undue, there is to be understanding here and there, but most players will not be understanding because that's not, there's only so much time in someone's life to take care of things, and so when they look at a game, they're like, oh, this game, hasn't been released, hasn't been updated, it's still in early access, has not had any content for a while, then yeah, players are, I will say they are validated to believe in such a thing. But at the same time, I think also at the same time, there is some, not due diligence, but there is something to be valued in a player understanding a developer's, not hardships, but the things they go through. But again, that does not invalidate their desire to consume something. Again, it doesn't have to be video games. It could be a movie, it could be a series, it could be actually material things in life that they may want. And so when something doesn't provide, they go look elsewhere or just stop expecting something, or any other combination of things. At least from my experience and my opinion. But I don't feel like it's too wrong to say that. And if it sounds too harsh, or it doesn't sound like I'm being harsh enough, then at that point we're just dealing with unreasonable people. And so, on any side, really, no matter what perspective that you have, because I don't think the view that I have is too unsound. By the way, can I brace here? 9 strength. There's no way I can't brace under 100 time units, right? Okay, I can. That's going to be important, so I can do crowbar here. Or actually, I don't have to. I'm going to though. Let me clear my voice. Mic mute. My condition is kind of tied to my coughing, so I am trying to take care of it. But we'll see when I actually. Like I said, I have an appointment scheduled at some point. So we'll see. It's also somewhat far in the future, so maybe that's an American thing. I don't know. If you want to throw in your 2 cents about scheduling appointments or the quality of healthcare you get, be my guest. But as we see, Cult or Story, I think Story, we have a lot of bosses to fight. I might even want to smoke cigarettes for this, so for the nicotine rush buff in-game. Don't hurt me, robots, but we'll see. I could equip this patina ring as well. I think we're losing max reason for it, which, again, we don't really mind, because our max... Oh, no, max stamina. Either way, we're going to be topped off right now anyway, is what I'm trying to say. But before we fight anything related to the mystery, as my Doom is at 51%, we probably should smoke the cigarettes, but I'm going to actually hold off on it for a moment. So, I think, yeah, we're going to be fighting things back to back to back. One of them is going to be a ghost, so we do want to be careful here, but... Hey, and there's other things I wanted to say. There's nothing else to say, aside from what's happening on screen. I'm just going to be bracing into triple boost attack, so I have a moment. But, what I'm trying to say, we could handcuff this, I'm not going to. Oh my goodness, but if I miss so many of those... It's not gonna matter, I'm gonna Desperate Struggle anyway at some point. In fact, I could even do this. 80%. Do I believe I have to? If I missed an 85% earlier, I should hit that one. That doesn't sound logical, but it does make sense theoretically, right? I'm pretty sure. Anywho. Immediately into another encounter back-to-back. I forgot my second encounter, by the way, so this is actually going to slap me unless I decide to run, question mark? Because we do have Cthulhu, so we're not only losing stamina and reason in this encounter, we're also going to be losing Doom, so we might as well just take the Doom hit. I think I calculated that right, but anywho. So yeah, dev work on World of Horror. If it happens, it happens, but my Band-Aid fix... Oh, I should have actually... actually, I can handcuff this. I can handcuff this. Let's handcuff this. If we can do so. Okay, I think we made it. For a reason, I think we're still okay. At this point, now we smoke the cigarettes. I might even treat for funds later on, but that depends. Yeah. We probably have to, though. I don't really have a lot left. I don't really have... That's not the correct phrase. There's not really a lot more I can do about the fact that everything is... Doom is high. My stamina and reason are dwindling, and I have the funds, so I might as well use them for something rather than hold on to them, even if I get... Well, especially if I get pickpocketed. So let's see what happens with this nicotine rush buff. This is a ghost, right? Yeah. So while we can brace here, we don't really get much from it. We're gonna do 2 severs anyway. I could throw an empty bottle. What would that allow me to do? Not really much anyway. Yeah, not really much anyway. Not on turn 1. This turn we can, and that will save me 2 all. Unless I want to just lose 1 all, but that's a different story. If that's the case... yeah. My body! I really need that appointment, but... Even with that as the case, and I really hope I don't run into STE... If I get RNG'd into STE, because it is possible... I'm pretty sure it's possible to get RNG'd into STE. But we're also working... I don't think custom events can give you STE counter, so if it is possible for it to actually happen to me, that would be quite unfortunate. Also, what's unfortunate is this. But I think I can survive still. There's no way I die here, right? 16 damage on top of 16 with Desperate Prep. Cut artery, that's not good. Oh, medical history, that's right. Did I? I sold the medical kit, didn't I? Well, this should be 16 damage. Regular army knife +1 from Kyoko. If not, sadness. Okay, good. Not much we can do here. Wait for the Raging Inferno, and away we go. But yeah, if nothing else, let me just get it off my chest. So, the short of it is, if I fail to release anything game-wise before the update for World of Horror, that's gonna be quite... I don't get to talk, is what the English phrase would be. Cult or Hell? I think I'd rather do Hell. Because so I can rest in Cult later on, we do need to get rid... I was going to get a pack of cigarettes. I don't know if it's possible now. Do we have price hike? We do. But we do need this pack of cigarettes. I can't afford to run anyway, so the Doom I'd spend running would probably be less than the Doom I spend visiting the tree and then preparing a little bit so I can get a pack of cigarettes. I did get rid of... Yeah, stable condition. Just making sure, though. I could also let go of Kyoko at some point. Kyoko is adding 5 Doom at the moment, but... That's also not good. Getting hallucinations, because that nerfs my army knife, but we'll have to deal with it. And yeah, we'll deal with out of funds. I don't really want to spend any more Doom. Even though we could let go of Kyoko, we don't want to let go of Kyoko yet. But then we run into one... Like, we didn't even get a custom enemy, although some of them do hit quite hard. Time Warper is not something I wanted to see, but guess we can gamble then. If we hit both of these, we get to Desperate Prep. Yeah, we get to Desperate Prep strong. Funny enough, we needed to hit both, because otherwise the Time Warper would have 17 HP, which is just out of range of my 16 damage attack. A lot of math, basically. So not saying that World of Horror has an easy... I guess we'll call it a skill floor, if you consider memorization a skill... What am I trying to say here? My goodness, I'm losing my words. I guess it actually does matter. So let's try to go for this. Yeah, if memorization and knowledge retention, you can consider it a skill. Oh. And then we have Cut Arm Sinew, so that's actually a run now. That actually has us running. And we do have to prepare, because that Cut Arm Sinew is going to not be great. Is that a major injury, by the way? It is. I have made a mistake. Well, there goes my waste of time. Or we have to. We are not going to continue on with Cut Arm Sinew, even though we have Kyoko. That's not good, basically. We also now have to visit the monument, so we can option select with the level up. Hopefully it asks for stamina or reason. So I failed a 90%. We'll not include the 80% that I 50-50 pretty much. But then I also wrote a 33%, assuming this is, you know, it has an equal chance of asking for stamina, reason, or funds. And then, yeah, the army thing. I think the ring sells. Does the ring sell for anything? It does, thankfully. So we just have to take out of funds in the face. Funny enough, we're going to, yeah, with Survival Instinct, we're going to take stamina. And we hope. Now, this seaside is max threat level, but we have 2 mysteries left, and we have 90% doom, so I kind of forgot, wasn't it? I thought it was during a Harbinger run that I saw people, at least 2 separate occurrences of surviving with 70% or 80% doom before the second mystery, but I can't remember. That's just a curse. I need to remember that. If there's nothing else to remember this video, it's that for that specific event, go left, unless the left is just as bad. Because I didn't get to choose. There's no stat check there. So Survival Instinct would not have even helped. Although I am getting just a bunch of events that just slap me with something. And I think Masochist just pushed me out of Survival Instinct range, so sadness. But the good news is, I think this is real 16. My mind is burnt out right. Yeah, no, 17. Well, is 17 damage? Why 17 damage? I'm going crazy. Anywho, didn't get anything there. I wonder if Survival Instinct works there. I also wonder if it works in the Survival Instinct, but we just have to lower Doom here. I know that lowers Doom. I didn't know it gives you a curse, but our Reason and Stamina are hurting anyway. Fungal Growth's max Stamina or Reason decrease isn't that great. The reason why I said both is because I don't remember which one, but like I said, it doesn't matter because both of them are so low anyway. We lost Bath. Just making sure. Into Cult we go, but I don't think we survive. Well, Monument has to ask for Stamina. We can give it Reason, that'll help us with Survival Instinct, funny enough. But when our Doom gets too high, we have to... Oh, I shouldn't have done that. Well, we were going to heal Reason anyway, I'm going crazy. Yes, I just slapped my forehead, but... just give me guaranteed, so I have to let go of Kyoko at some point, that's what I'm trying to say. But, we'll see. Survival's Guild, okay, that, we definitely have to... Well, we are getting rid of Kyoko, but... The point I'm trying to make is that our Doom is really, really high. As for Stamina, it has to for us to even hope. Do we have so many in hospital investigations? I don't think switching would help us out here. We have to do that. Thankfully, the game rolled a 1, but even that's probably not going to save me. We have a very good chance of dying here unless the custom event lowers our Doom. I think the right encounter is easier, but I don't know if you get more experience or something else happens because of it, so... Is this real? This is 11 damage per, and it's not enough, so we actually have to brace for a turn here to get some extra stamina out of this encounter. Unless something weird happens, but it shouldn't. And yeah, away we go. Just let it rip. 13 experience, though, which is not bad, but... we have to take stamina here. And let's continue onward. This forest would be max threat level if it weren't for... Oh, Cthulhu. Cthulhu increases Doom when you lose Reason. So I should have let go of Kyoko earlier, if I wanted to survive for longer. But yeah, without further ado, again, let me know if the previous custom character I did not play twice. Otherwise, if you want to keep us moving on, don't say anything, or say so, and I'll see you later. Thank you for watching. I'm gone! Oh my